What is the greatest gaming trilogy to this date? Picture this, a gaming experience so immersive, so captivating, it feels like you're living inside your own sci-fi epic. Now hold on to that thought, because we're about to dive into what makes this game trilogy the stuff of legends. We're talking about a trilogy where your choices truly matter, where the fate of entire civilizations rests in your hands. It's a game where the dialogue is sharp, sometimes vulgar, and well, sometimes a little surprising. And the story's magnificent. If you haven't figured it out already, or you just didn't bother to read the video details, we're diving into Mass Effect. Now that we've set the stage, let's zoom in on what makes the Mass Effect trilogy truly out of this world. We'll be dissecting the story depth, those heart-wrenching moments that hit you right in the feels like a Mako crashing into a Thrasher Maw. We're also venturing into the steamier side of the galaxy, where romances are as abundant as space debris. Nothing says love amongst the stars quite like trying to navigate the awkward sex scenes with aliens. And speaking of choices, we'll explore how every decision you make can send shockwaves through the galaxy, from deciding the fate of an entire species to choosing who to smooch under the stars. We'll also be diving into the unparalleled dialogue and voice acting that brings this universe to life. And finally, stick around to the end for a very big reveal. Trust me, it's a cosmic revelation you won't want to warp past. Now, before I get into the nitty-gritty, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the Andromeda in the universe. The black sheep of the Mass Effect family, Andromeda, isn't all that bad. Look, I'm not saying Andromeda's out of place. Well, actually scratch that. It kind of is, but it's not all bad. Think of it as the space-faring equivalent of the B-movie. It's cheesy, it's campy, but it's still fun. Sure, the visuals are stunning and the game mechanics are smoother, being it's a far newer game. But let's be real here, Andromeda is like that distant cousin who shows up to family gatherings with questionable fashion choices and a knack for awkward small talk. I know, this is just my opinion, right? Maybe, but even across the internet, it's got a pretty wide range of mixed reviews. But all in all, if you're itching for that space adventure and don't mind a few glitches along the way, give Andromeda a whirl. Just don't expect it to measure up to the legendary status of the original trilogy. But that's enough of Andromeda. We came here to talk about the original trilogy, so let's move on. First up, and what makes Mass Effect the greatest trilogy to date is the plethora of romantic options that cater to every taste in the galaxy. From the mysterious allure of Tali, the suave charm of Garrus,
You're gonna pay for this later.
there's someone for everyone in Mass Effect, whether you're drawn to the enigmatic Liara, or prefer the rugged charm of Jack. It's always fun to romance your way through the galaxy, but always remember this one thing.
Look, secrets are like herpes. If you got them, you might as well spread them around.
Our romance choices in Mass Effect aren't just for show. They can actually have impact on moments in the game, whether it's unlocking special dialogue options, changing the outcomes of certain missions, or just adding a little extra spice to your spacefaring adventures. Your romantic escapades can have a real impact on the game. Now, if the sex doesn't convince you that Mass Effect is the greatest trilogy ever, then the story will. Shakespeare actually said it perfectly. Theater should mirror to society, showing both its virtues and vices. It should include sex for the young, violence for the strong, and comedy for the foolish. Where in these things, the populace finds its delight. Just replace theater with video games and essentially the same concept. With the story, Mass Effect truly draws in the other ingredients in this recipe for success. The basic plot is extensive, one that stretches across the entire trilogy.
The next few hours will decide the fate of everyone in the galaxy. Every mother, every son, every unborn child.
For the short version of this basic plot, you play Commander Shepard, one of humanity's finest, tasked with saving the galaxy from a threat that is both ancient and terrifying. Throughout the trilogy, you must uncover secrets, betrayals, and bring together species from every corner of the universe and work together to stop this threat. But here's where it gets really interesting. Every decision you make, from choosing who lives and who dies, to deciding the fate of entire civilizations, these have consequences that ripple throughout the game. It's like playing cosmic chess with the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance. And let's not forget about the ending. We're not talking about one of those lame, disappointing series finales that leave you scratching your head and wondering what just happened. In Mass Effect, the ending is a culmination of every choice you've made, every sacrifice you've endured, and every friendship you forged along the way. It's the ultimate choose-your-own-adventure book, but with more explosions and less page flipping. Now, you might be wondering how decisions can impact the entire trilogy when it's 3 separate games. Well, Mass Effect introduced a groundbreaking feature that shattered the boundaries between games: the ability to import saves. This revolutionary mechanic allowed players to carry over their choices from one game to the next, creating a seamless narrative that spanned the entire trilogy. When you launch Mass Effect 2, for example, you have the option to import your save, or you can start fresh, where you have to deal with the default canon decisions, but I don't know why you would do that. It makes more sense to create your own narrative and play the entire trilogy through. It's the same for Mass Effect 3, where you import your Mass Effect 2 save. And anyone who died in a previous game, or civilizations you let get destroyed, or even the ones you save, those decisions impact how the story unfolds in each next game. Now let's talk about Spectres, because they're pretty essential to the plot too. They're elite operatives tasked with preserving the galactic stability in the universe and upholding the law when no one else can. These guys and gals are like the James Bond of the Mass Effect universe, except with more lasers and fewer martinis.
Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lily, shake it over ice, and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
One of the more powerful moments comes early in Mass Effect 1. Standing before the Council, humanity's future hanging in the balance, when suddenly they drop the bombshell. You're being granted the highest honor a human could ever hope to achieve, becoming the first human Spectre. And then you're handed the keys to the coolest spaceship in the universe.
It is the decision of the Council that you be granted all the powers and privileges of the Special Tactics and Reconnaissance Branch of the Citadel.
Spectres are not trained, but chosen. Individuals forged in the fire of service and battle. Those whose actions elevate them above the rank and file.
Spectres are an ideal, a symbol, the embodiment of courage, determination, and self-reliance. They are the right hand of the Council, instruments of our will.
Spectres bear a great burden. They are protectors of galactic peace, both our first and last line of defense. The safety of the galaxy is theirs to uphold.
You are the first human Spectre, Commander. This is a great accomplishment for you and your...
This brings us right into the dialogue in Mass Effect, which is akin to a finely tuned instrument, capable of evoking a wide range of emotions within us. From the heart-wrenching conversations that leave us reaching for the tissues, to the witty repartee that has us snickering with delight. Every interaction feels authentic and meaningful. It's a testament to the skill of the writers and developers who poured their hearts and souls into creating a gaming experience that transcends mere entertainment. The true gem of voice acting in Mass Effect is Seth Green's portrayal of Joker. When it comes to bringing a character to life, Seth Green truly knocks it out of the park.
As we all learn to talk 24. I've got 2 hostiles down! And I'm in a sewage tunnel with excellent cellular service. Yeah! I don't have time to explain. I've killed everyone. I'm on my way back to... No, don't send backup. I'll do it myself.
From his snarky remarks to his enduring quirks, Seth Green injects Joker with a level of charm and personality that's downright infectious. It's like having your own personal comic relief aboard the Normandy, keeping things light even when the galaxy's on the brink of destruction. Seth Green's acting alone is enough to bring me to Mass Effect, let alone all the other things that make this trilogy great. If you're still not convinced that this is the greatest trilogy ever, well, one, you're wrong, and two, you need to just go buy the game, play it, and see for yourself. Once you get past the dated mechanics and get sucked into the story, this trilogy will have a lasting impact on your life. Now that you're convinced that this is the greatest trilogy ever, it's time for that reveal that I promised. But first, let me give you the foundation of this, and to do that we need to circle back to 2019 when Amazon announced that they were buying the rights to a Mass Effect TV series. This excited so many Mass Effect fans, but then they went radio silent. So what happened? Well, we think that Amazon was trying to attach themselves to the hype of BioWare developing the re-release of the Mass Effect trilogy under the Legendary Edition. We have learned over the last couple of years that TV adaptations of games have been a huge success. Just look at The Last of Us with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey from the Game of Thrones. The show was a huge success. And after the show launched, game sales soared a whopping 238%. And even more recently, the show Fallout with Ella Purnell was a major success right at the start. And just like in The Last of Us, game sales skyrocketed at the moment the show launched. So what does all this have to do with Mass Effect and this big reveal? Well, remember when I said in 2019 that Amazon bought the rights to a Mass Effect TV series? Well, in a recent interview, when Amazon was asked about this rumored TV series that we've heard nothing on over the last 4 years, they said, and I quote, "It's not a matter of if, but when." And this is huge, because it's no longer a rumor. They didn't just buy the rights to it and then scrap the project and abandon it altogether. It is something that they're planning to do. But when can we expect to see the Mass Effect TV series? Well, let's look at Amazon's production of Fallout. At the beginning of the year in 2020, they announced that they were buying the rights to a Fallout TV series. And then in July of that same year, they announced that they were going to be making a Fallout TV series. So from the time that they announced that they were making the TV series, it took 4 years for us to be able to see it. Now with Mass Effect, they haven't officially announced that they were making it, only that they plan to and that they bought the rights. And BioWare has diverted all of their attention to their release of Dragon Age. They even pulled the Mass Effect development team over to the Dragon Age team in order to finish this game by the end of this year. Amazon's not going to want to release a TV series when there's not a whole lot of hype around Mass Effect right now. Once Dragon Age comes out and Mass Effect 4 starts getting some more concrete development news, then we'll probably start to see Amazon developing the Mass Effect TV series, and they'll want to release that before Mass Effect 4 comes out, especially if they're working with BioWare, because BioWare is going to want to increase the sales of their previous games right before they launch the new Mass Effect 4 game. What does that mean for a timeline? Well, being as Dragon Age is the main focus of BioWare right now, we're probably not going to see a Mass Effect game for another 2 to 5 years, and a Mass Effect TV series probably around the same timeline. So yeah, 2 to 5 years is a long time to wait for another Mass Effect 4 game or a Mass Effect TV series, but it will probably be worth it. That about sums it up. I hope that you're now starting to believe that Mass Effect is the greatest game trilogy ever made, and I hope that you're getting pretty excited about the next Mass Effect 4 game and this Mass Effect TV series. I'll see you next time.